you all. So let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. And just kind of, ask yourself, how are you today? I mean, it just sounds a bit silly, but you know how and ask yourself sincerely, how we ask people, how are you doing? And you don't really want to know the answer. We just do it because we're being polite. But ask yourself with the intention to get an answer. How are you doing today? What's going on in your mind? And just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. And if you are not sitting in a cross-legged position, you can have your feet flat on the floor, about a hip's width apart, and shoulders aligned with the hips. And just imagine you have this beautiful spine. It's just made up of light and pearls, string of pearls of light. And just lengthen the back of the neck. And just bring your awareness to the crown of the head and just relax the scalp and the forehead and the eyes and the nose and the cheeks, your mouth, back of the tongue, and your jaw. And allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop. Your hands can be just resting comfortably in your lap. Notice the sensation of the air as you inhale and exhale. Relax the belly. So you may feel, when you notice the air coming in and out, you might notice the rising and falling of the belly, or the rising and the falling of the chest. And be aware of any sounds in your environment. And just allow those sounds to be there. So I noticed just then, there was, normally this time of night up here, you just hear the birds settling down to bed. Everything's kind of quiet. Occasionally there's the neighbor kind of playing summer vibes over the way, but generally it's quiet. My mind took off because there was a truck kind of being revved outside our driveway. So it's an unusual sound for this time of night, and my mind went off to investigate. So just, there's nothing inherently wrong with your mind being distracted. The point of the exercise is to be aware of when your mind is distracted. And just allow the thoughts that are in the mind to arise, to abide. And then by not engaging with those thoughts, they're not going anywhere. And particularly these thoughts that are rumination, not necessarily serving you or anybody else. Those kind of thoughts are, they're somewhat dangerous because they can lead us to taking action that might be harmful to ourselves and others. So try and let go of the thoughts that you can't do anything, things you can't do anything about, the thoughts that are just rumination or false. And then bring to mind all the people of your life. Start with the ones you really love. See their face. And the ones you don't like so much, and then your strangers. And do know that these relationships are interchangeable. And regardless of how you feel about any of those people, they're all equal. They all have a wish to be happy. They all wish to be free from suffering, and they all have this extraordinary capacity for an enlightened mind. So I think we'll do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. And I have a name. A friend of mine sent me a name. This young woman by the name of Rayana de Silva. She just has discovered she's got liver cancer and maybe has 3 or so years to live. So that just sounds like it would be a difficult thing to hear. So there's probably many, many people on this planet who have an experience like this. So just particularly because I'm swimming for the Cancer Society, it's just like, oh gosh, another one. So do this meditation for all these people you know. It might not necessarily be cancer. They might have something going on that they need some support with. So I think you'll just do it for their sake. And then think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we create negativity with our mind. So equally, we can change that by creating positivity instead. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma, and we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. We cannot bear the thought of the future suffering that we will experience, and we know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering, and also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance, and we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing the Buddha to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So we see him like a doctor. And just imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. He's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. And he has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. And this is the second section in this kind of section on reliance. The first was refuge. The second is developing compassion. So the very beings we've harmed and those who have harmed us, so we develop compassion for them, particularly those who have harmed us, because those people are going to suffer as a result of the harm they've caused us. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. So here we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. It arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of all of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Siddham Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Am Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Am Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Am Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Am Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Am Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about others behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you. And just imagine all of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra again. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Am Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita me boa, Sitokaya me boa, Sipokaya me boa, Anorecta me boa, Sawasidi me piyata sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriam Kuruhum, ha ho bhagawan, Sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa, Mahasamaya sata a humpe. Vajrasafa samaya manupalaya, Vajrasafa dina patita, Dita me boa, Sitokaya me boa, Sipokaya me boa, Anorecta me boa, Sawasidi me piyata sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahompe. Bhadrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Bhadrasafa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahompe. Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahompe. Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe. So be so happy now that your speech is completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. And the next is a purification of your mind. And Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So you imagine you've walked into a room, it's really dark, can't see anything, so you flick on the switch. And the light that comes instantly dispels the darkness. So it's the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, just imagine that all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachments and neediness and bitterness and grudges, and depression, anxiety, worry, there's vitriol, all of this instantly dispelled as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahompe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahompe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahompe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahompe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahompe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And just imagine Vajrasattva's sending light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even the very subtle imprints. This kind of really, really subtle negative energy from your continuum. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Supokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. So feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve. And this is the fourth and final step in our purification process. And it's a really crucial one. And this is this determination to not harm with our body and our speech and our mind. And without this kind of intention, we're just going to keep doing the same old things over and over again. So we need intention. We need to make a decision. I intend to do this. I will do this. So it changes everything rather than, oh, maybe sometime I'll think about it. Oh, I'd love it if I could do this. If you want to go to Nepal, you need to book a ticket. It doesn't just happen by you wishing to go there. So it's the same thing with our mind. We want to not harm ourselves, others with our body and our speech and our mind. We have to decide that's what we're going to do. So just decide. And then you can think, rejoice, first of all, and then think of something you'd like to work on, but just between now and tomorrow. Maybe you only get to work on it for a minute, or, once every, even if it's once every 3 days, just think about something for a little bit. And then this determination to not do again or to not harm is what gives us this strength to change. So Vajrasattva is delighted with us, to conclude, and wants to merge with your mind. And he melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche would recommend to meditate on emptiness. So we think in emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, just place your mind there for a little while. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And so then we do our chanting the names of Manjushri. Shayla? Oh, Shayla looks frozen.
Can you see? Can you see?
You froze for a moment. We can see it now. No worries.
Good.
Okay. Emerge from cyclic life's imposing forest, the single teacher, guru for all beings. In every well-known world, in all directions, the eminent bestower of the Dharma. Concealed by armor made of loving kindness, well shielded by the shield of empathy, with wisdom sword in hand, with bow and arrow, concluding war with ignorance and kleshas. The Mara's enemy and tamer hero, eliminating threats from all four Maras, defeating all the armies of the Maras, a guide for living beings, the perfect Buddha. Okay, you guys. And now I do want to thank all those people that I didn't say hello to because I want to go back to the gallery. There we are. Stephanie, I said hi to. Hi, Elizabeth in New York, and Lorraine, and Marion, and Alice, and Kimberly in Canada, Jay in Australia, and Phyllis, and Tara. I said hello to all you other guys as well. Okay. So let's just dedicate for the long life of His Holiness. So who was it that was asking? Alice, was it you? Somebody was asking about where was His Holiness teaching? I still don't know, but I hear the date is the 22nd. So it may go up on the website. His website. I'm not terribly sure. But if I hear anything more, I will let you guys know if you want to do a quick trip to New York. So long life for His Holiness, and the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and then for any of your own precious teachers, for them to live long. And Alexandra, you look like you've got angel wings there behind you.
No, it's my abominable snowman chair. It's so lovely and wonderful.
I know, and it looks like when you're leaning back in it, doesn't it look like she's in heaven with fairy?
That's fabulous.
Anyway, yeah, it looks great. Okay, all right, you guys. So tomorrow morning, I promised somebody we would do Shakyamuni Buddha meditation. So if you're up for that, join us tomorrow morning. All right, thank you so much, everyone. And good night, lots of love, and I'll see some of you tomorrow. Okay, thank you.